working with Jaden Smith, who designed Yeezy footwear with Ye. What are y'all cooking up?
The Willow conversation, the Smith family conversation that we had.
In your face.
In your face.
Like, put out in your face.
He's physically ill.
Yeah.
He's emotionally, and then the damage you do.
You know, I'd never really given much thought to how I would die, but dying in the place of someone I love seemed like a pretty good way to go.
Jaden Smith is once again in the spotlight, but this time, not for the best reasons. DL Hughley has shared his thoughts on Jaden's behavior, placing the blame on Jada for causing his issues. He claims that Jada's controversial actions, like her alleged affair with Jaden's friend August Alsina, have had a negative impact on him. According to DL, Jada sold Jaden to the industry while also pursuing relationships with young men close to her son's age. Recently, Jaden made an appearance on the red carpet at the Could Have Been Love Season 2 premiere, seemingly ready for a standard interview. However, when a reporter asked him about his new Christian Louboutin collection and his collaboration with designer Jaden Smith, who previously worked with Kanye West, Jaden abruptly walked away, leaving the reporter without a word or acknowledgement.
Working with Jaden Smith, who designed Yeezy footwear with Ye. What are y'all cooking up?
What's going on with Jaden? The reporter didn't even bring up Kanye. She only asked about the designer. And if it had been about Ye, Jaden could have easily just said, no comment. But that wasn't the end of it. Just a few weeks later, Jaden was in Paris, and he completely flipped out over some hail, acting like he had never seen it before. It was a bizarre moment, making people wonder what's really going on with him.
Had a friend who she brought home from college, and she lived with us, right? And she needed a place to stay. And she lived with us, and I accepted her as now she's been there so long, and we've known each other so long, that she's literally like my daughter to me. Imagine me and my old lady, me and my wife break up, and I start messing around with her.
Yeah, because August Alsina was Jaden's friend.
Right.
Who he brought to the house.
So I think it was, and I'm not, look, I ain't in nobody's business, it's their thing, but when they were talking, well, he was sick, and he was mentally sick, and he was emotionally sick. Now, that's predatory. Let me tell you something, if you're sick, like he's physically ill.
Yeah.
He's emotionally, and then the damage you do, like, this dude was talking about killing, right? So it isn't just you having an affair or whatever you do. It's that in your wake, because you felt bad, that dude was up behind it.
Still is.
And you can't tell me that if that were Will, he'd never be saving the.
Now, let's talk about Jaden's style. He recently made headlines for showing up with a mini dollhouse bag worth a staggering $47,000. It's a pretty bold fashion choice, and it's definitely got people talking. But it's not just any bag. It's the kind of statement piece that makes you question what exactly he's trying to say with his wardrobe lately.
So are you also gonna expose the fact that you have molested me when I was in your presence as a kid? Asking my moms to not say nothing, to hold that down, and to, keep that secret. And not even a day later, random people tell me, oh, yeah, your mama said this.
And then when August...
If you take a look at the comments on this video, a lot of people are saying the same thing. Jaden's behavior might be a result of his parents not exactly stepping up when it came to parenting. DL Hughley seems to agree, suggesting that Jaden's struggles stem from witnessing who knows what growing up in that household. DL specifically pointed out Jada's alleged relationship with Jaden's friend, August Alsina, during a time when he was both physically and mentally vulnerable. He also raised a point about the double standard. If the roles had been reversed, and it had been a man doing this to a young woman, the backlash would likely have been much harsher.
Really, to be honest, man, I don't have no family. I'm my family.
DL makes a valid point. Imagine the uproar if Will had been involved with one of Willow's friends while she was physically and mentally unwell. It's hard to ignore how Jada's entanglement with August became the focus, but the real issue, how she took advantage of August during a vulnerable time, seemed to be overlooked. What makes it even worse is that Jaden was the one who introduced them. That alone raises a lot of eyebrows. Now, here's where things really get unsettling. In his 2020 docuseries State of Emergency, The Rise of August Alsina, August revealed that he went through serious trauma at a young age, and the person responsible was someone close to him. What's even more disturbing is that, despite August telling his mom he wanted to keep it a secret, she went ahead and shared it with random people in the neighborhood. That kind of betrayal makes it even harder to overlook how Jada handled the whole situation.
And I talked about me thinking about suicide. That's real. Like I mean, I have thoughts about that. I remember being just super overly depressed, like overly depressed, and not knowing how to deal with this, not knowing like not having a mother to talk to. My father is dead. I don't have nobody, you know what I'm saying, to teach me. So like I said, I'm out here trying to, I'm doing all of this on my own. And man, I went through so many surgeries. My mama ain't even check on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm damn near dead, yeah, and losing my vision and you know.
Then, when August was asked about his relationship with his mom on the Breakfast Club, he revealed that they were never close. That adds another layer to the whole situation. If he wasn't even able to rely on his own mother for support, it makes it even more disturbing how Jada got involved with him when he was at his lowest. It really shines a light on the emotional complexities of what he was going through at the time.
I'm not gonna do it.
He tries to kiss me on the mouth all the time.
I just think it's an important thing for kids to feel loved. Do you feel loved when I try to kiss you on your mouth?
No, that's probably the last thing that comes.
In that same interview, August got really vulnerable and talked about battling severe depression. He even revealed that at one point, he considered taking his own life because he felt like he had no one to turn to. That kind of pain is heartbreaking, and it puts everything into perspective, especially when you consider how Jada became involved with him while he was in such a fragile state. It makes you wonder if anyone really had his back at that time.
Of having cameras in his house so he can record celebrities and politicians and use it as blackmail.
I firmly believe that's true because in that sector of people, a lot of them practice Scientology. And Scientology, that was their thing. They would get people in compromising positions. They'll hold that footage over their head and get them to agree to things. I think he one of them Scientology people, bro. Because that's probably where he got that from. A lot of powerful guys operate like that. So the things I'm seeing with him, it all makes sense.
And then there's Jaguar.
It's clear that August was in an incredibly vulnerable place, traumatized, struggling mentally and physically, with no support system to lean on. And then Jaden invites him into his home, only for Jada, who's old enough to be his mother, to become involved with him. That's already a lot to process, but here's where things take an even darker turn. Some industry insiders have hinted that Jaden himself may have been traumatized growing up in that household. While this is all speculation, many people have noticed that Jada rarely shows affection toward Jaden in public. Meanwhile, Will does, but in a way that seems to make Jaden uncomfortable. It raises serious questions about the emotional dynamics in that family and how it might have affected Jaden's development.
They asked Leah Ramini. She's a little more credible. But then again, she might have been able to pull some of their cards because a lot of them motherfuckers is involved in that Scientology bullshit too. That's LA, corner where Biggie was killed. I was just there. Literally. And that building, it's this big, gaudy, Masonic looking thing. You know, it's all right, architecturally wise. But what gets really interesting about it is when the sun goes down, they turn the lights on, blood red, pure blood red. The whole building glows in pure blood red. I don't know, man. It just feels disturbing to me. You put this thing up that looks like some kind of Masonic monument where Biggie Smalls was shot to death. And at night, you thought that the color should be blood red. I don't know.
You spoke about Scientology.
Yeah.
Does that have to do with anything with the Illuminati, or is that this separate entity?
They're separate entities, but they work in tandem.
Right.
They spy on each other's people for each other.
Right.
You know, if they don't want to make it look like they're stalking one of their, defectees, they'll ask somebody from TMZ to do it for them. Oops, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that out loud, allegedly. Harvey. They farm it out, make it seem like it's just paparazzi stuff when they're actually doing investigation. And Scientologists, they're relentless. A lot of people farm out their gaslighting work to them for a profit. That's LA.
And then
Will's explanation of his behavior, claiming that it's just a healthy way of showing affection, doesn't really hold up, especially when Jaden himself has expressed discomfort with it. If your son is telling you he doesn't like something, why insist on pushing it on him? This dynamic only adds to the growing concerns that fans are connecting the dots between Will and Jada's odd behavior and how it's impacting Jaden's actions. A lot of people point to that infamous video of Jaden and Justin Bieber at Coachella as a sign that both of them may have experienced something traumatic in the industry. And then there's the whole Scientology angle, which really adds another layer of intrigue. Back in 2008, Will and Jada launched the New Village Leadership Academy, a private elementary school, and enrolled Jaden and Willow in it. Will claimed that the school was about creating a fun and positive learning environment. But parents weren't buying it. The school quickly shut down when it was revealed that it had ties to the Church of Scientology, with teachers being full-fledged Scientologists and the school's website even discussing study technology, a teaching method created by Scientology founder L. Ron Hubbard. Though Will and Jada initially denied being involved with Scientology, actress Leah Remini, who famously left the church, exposed the truth in her book Troublemaker, Surviving Hollywood and Scientology. She revealed that Jada was a regular at the church and shared a bizarre experience at Tom Cruise's house, where he made everyone play an odd game of hide and seek. Leah went on to say in an interview that she often saw Jada at the Scientology Celebrity Center. Now, you might be wondering how this ties back to Jaden's alleged experiences in the industry. According to former celebrity bodyguard Big Homie CC, some predators in the industry may have learned their tactics from Scientologists, using blackmail as a means of control. He claimed that figures like Diddy might be using these tactics, filming compromising situations to hold over people's heads for leverage. This idea fits into the larger narrative that some of the darker sides of Hollywood and the industry may have been influenced by Scientology's covert methods. Then there's Jaguar Wright, who made claims about a connection between Scientology and a rumored secret society that runs Hollywood. It all adds up to a pretty concerning picture when you look at the patterns emerging from these different perspectives.
The Willow conversation, the Smith family conversation that we had.
In your face.
In your face.
Like, put out in your face.
I mean, there's multiple videos of this man forcibly trying to tongue kiss his son. On some Dalai Lama shit, suck my thumb.
And then Jaguar Wright took things even further, bringing up Will and Jada and insinuating that they might have done something to their own kids. This is a serious accusation, and if true, it paints an even darker picture of the family dynamic. Jaguar's claims add fuel to the fire that there's something deeply unsettling going on behind the scenes in that household, especially considering all the other allegations and the patterns that are emerging in relation to Scientology and the industry. It raises a lot of questions about the lengths people will go to maintain power and control, and if there's a deeper, more sinister side to Will and Jada's public personas. That's a tough question. On one hand, it's clear that Jaden has been exposed to a lot of the pressures and complexities of growing up in a highly publicized, unconventional family. Hugley and Jaguar Wright seem to be making the case that Jaden's behavior is not just a product of being a Nepo baby, but possibly a result of deeper trauma from growing up surrounded by chaos, the public eye, and possibly some questionable decisions made by his parents. The August Alsina situation definitely adds a layer of complexity, and if there's any truth to the claims of emotional neglect or manipulation in the household, it could explain a lot of Jaden's more erratic behavior. However, at the same time, Jaden has grown up with a level of privilege that many would argue has made him less grounded, which might feed into the spoiled, Nepo baby narrative. It's hard to separate the two, privilege and trauma. In this case, it might be both. He's a product of his environment, and the way he's been raised could very well have influenced the way he navigates the world now. So, is it deeper trauma or just spoiled behavior? It's probably a mix of both, but until more details come out, it's hard to make a definitive call. But yeah, definitely something seems off with how he's turned out, and it might be worth watching how his story develops.